Oh, hey, fellow film, wrong one. Hey, theme park fans, England teen, homegrown tourist here. And, well, got a little story to tell. We're going to be talking about. I went to Disney Springs for my birthday, had a little bit of a interaction about masks and such there. Also, we've got a few stories. It looks like Orlando is going to be on, and we are in a tropical storm watch. We're going to talk about that also a little bit, and whatever story we could take up. And by the way, I do have I do got all ears up, so I could share and talk about whatever article we run across. But right offhand, anybody like this coloring of the castle?
Oh, Professor was telling me about that the last time I saw him. He's like, it's too bright.
It really, yeah. I kind of like the more
faded,
lived-in color. Yeah, that just looks a little bit. I don't know. I guess it's more like the movie. It's a little bit more popish, like it's animated or something. Hey, Maverick, how you doing?
It looks more like.
I like it fine, so maybe I'm in the minority here, but I kind of like it. It's fine.
It looks like a toy castle now.
You know what? But it also kind of looks like an animated castle, and then on that end, okay, I could take it. I get it. It works as far as that's concerned.
Like, I like the blue, but the bricks being so freaking orange or tan, where they are.
Yeah, this little pinkish, almost, what is it, Sam? Well, I clicked on it to see the story. I thought it was going to be on the story. Okay, so here's the first one. Anyway, the salmon look is just way too bright. So Orlando has been put on tropical storm watch during Hurricane Isaiah, and I keep seeing that it's going to bowl right up us, and then I see that it's going to veer off to the side of us. Look, I've been through them. And, you know, for me, the only thing that's ticking me off is I finally got my pass all straightened up, and now we have a hurricane. What the hell? Seriously, that's what I was doing when I got into the mask altercation. I was getting my pass fixed.
You should have expected this, sir. It's 2020.
Yeah, 2020, ladies and gentlemen.
I know, right? This is God telling me I need to stay away from Disney for a while.
You need to stay at home. That's what he's saying.
And granted, I want to point out the sheer narcissism of me thinking that this hurricane is put there in place just so I don't go to Disney. I absolutely understand. I am reaching my peak of narcissism here.
2020, the year of the entropy.
It really is. As of Friday evening, the National Weather Service has officially put Orlando on a tropical warning for the next 36 hours. We're on tropical warning from the beginning of summer until almost October.
Mm-hmm. There was just last weekend there was talk of hurricane over Hawaii. So it's hurricane season.
Cool. So there you go. I guess it'll be interesting to see. You know what? I actually told Gail if they end up deciding that the park's going to close or something, because a lot of times they wait, I'm going to go in the morning time to see the park before a hurricane as it's closing. I want to be the guy who gets kicked out. I don't want to be asked. I want to be like, now it's time for you to go. I want to be that guy. In the park. I think that would be very, very interesting.
I can see you. I lost my son. I need to stay here.
Yeah. I'm looking for my friend. He's about 5'10". He's kind of fat, bald. He's wearing a blue Disney hat. Describe myself to him.
He's got a tuxedo and like a bow tie, a black, he's a dog named Pluto.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But yeah, there you go. So that's happening. Obviously, everybody and their brother knows. So I did go, by the way, to get my pass fixed, and we went to Disney Springs. We were going to go to Disney Springs. The plan was to go to Morimoto, Asia, but they weren't open yet. They only opened for dinner. So we went to Chef Art Smith's, and, after that, I said, well, I've got to get my pass done. The kids left, and it was just me and Gail. We were going to walk around. I wanted to get myself a new Disney hat because my Nightmare Before Christmas hat's looking a little bit ragged. And now, going in, they make you wear the mask. and you have to wear it unless you're stopped and eating. That's the rule. Okay, no problem. Nope, the one day I can't be on. Sorry, Bunderdome, but I'm gonna need you here sometime, because another video I want to make, and me, and Dalton can make this one definitely. And Professor, if he's ever around, bring Mark if you want. Of course, he's always invited. But I was thinking we should talk about the best of different Disney era, talk about the movies and everything. But getting back to the story, so I'm wearing the mask. I walked across to get my daughter. She met us. We went into the Lime Garage way over here by the AMC. We walked halfway across to meet her at. We went through the Orange. She was at the Lime, so no problem with the mask. Walked around, no problem. Not at all. Occasionally lowering it so I could breathe a little better. If you haven't heard, I am one of those people who have a hard time breathing. Now, CDC guidelines says that if you have a medical condition, or if you have problem breathing, you don't, they're not going to make you wear the mask. Of course, you're on Disney property, they ask you, and I understand. But I'm one of those people that have problem breathing. So a lot of times they call us dick noses. You wear the mask down here and you cover. But I've got no problem whatsoever. But after dinner, after lunch, I actually told Gail, I think it's because we overate. Look, Chef Art Smith's, that's a great restaurant. I had shrimp and grits, which is not a light meal. And then afterwards we had his hummingbird cake, which is pineapple and banana cake with a cheesecake frosting. Oh my gosh, it was cream cheese frosting. So very good. I'm going to have a video up on it doing a review in just a little bit. But it was really, really good. So what I think happened was I actually overate. I actually stuffed myself. So when we're walking, I could not catch my breath. I couldn't catch my breath, and I was kind of get woozy and everything. So we're going to guest service. We finally arrive. I said, I need to sit down. And the guy tells me that you need to put your mask up. And I do that. Whenever I go into a shop, I put it over. I understand walking outside is different than going into a store to me. So I said, I can't do that. And I go off to a corner and I pull the thing off. I'm breathing here. And they call me up because we had already reserved some time to talk to them. And I go over, I say, I can't breathe. And they say, sir, you're going to have to put your mask over your nose. I said, I understand. I cannot breathe. I'm having a hard time breathing. And they say, sir, you're going to need to put that mask on. So I've got it on. I'm telling you, I can't breathe.
Yeah, what part of I can't freaking breathe these people not understand?
And then they said it again. Well, we need you to put the mask. And I went, I'm not trying to make a political statement. I'm having a hard time breathing. We need you to put your mask on. And I went off. And I took it up. That way I could breathe fine. And I said, you people have politicized this fucking mask thing so much that you're not listening when a person tells you that they can't freaking breathe. I'm not trying to make a political statement. I'm trying to tell you I can't. And I was really having a hard time breathing. And as I'm holding on to the table to keep myself propped up. I was really having a hard time breathing. Gail believes I was having another panic attack. And that could have been so. I don't know.
I'd like to mention that people who wear the mask, sometimes people do get claustrophobic wearing those masks.
Well, that's also that's also something she was bringing up. Could have been claustrophobic, could have been a panic attack. And I said, well, it didn't bother me when we were walking around the first time. It didn't really bother me. It was only after lunch. And what really pissed me off about the situation was that I don't know if it had anything to do with a mask at all.
Well, the fact that they didn't call you paramedics at all is really crappy.
They should have offered health services.
Yeah.
They could have told me, we need your mask on. We'll call health services. Fine. Tell me that. but they absolutely ignored it. I see a lot of people on the forums. I'm on a few Disney annual pass forums. I'm on a few Disney blogs and such like that. And I see them talking. And there are people who have no freaking sympathy. None whatsoever. If you have a breathing problem, you stay your ass at home.
This is your brain on bureaucracy, essentially. There are some people who, for whatever reason, don't understand that rules do have exceptions or do have modifiers unless you spell it out to them. There are people who you give them a set of rules to follow and they will be like and not to go Godwin, but Gestapo about it. It's like, these are the rules, therefore I don't care if you're dying on the floor, you will follow these rules. To some people, it seems to be like that. And I don't understand that mentality, because when you tell me these are the strictly to be adhered to rules, I'm thinking, okay, if you're going to be that insistent about it, I'm going to break them just to spite you. How the heck
but
do people...
I wasn't.
Oh.
That's the
No,
thing.
I know. I'm just saying it baffles me that some people are so myopic and so one-dimensional that you give them a set of rules to enforce and they just enforce them robotically, whereas there are people like me that are just like, the more you insist that that I follow these rules, the more I'm going to try and spite you with them.
My question is, if you had been a different race, would they have been more lenient with you? The fact that you're white,
I can't speculate on that.
I just wonder. You know,
I mean, we joke about the Dr. Fauci guy. Of course, today he was talking in front of Congress, and they asked him about the riots and everything. And we joked because 1,300 doctors did sign a note saying you're A-okay if you're rioting, which is ridiculous. We understand that, but in all honesty, I can't. For this instance, I couldn't even speculate on that, and I'm not going to. But I really do believe, though, is this mask thing. Now, Maverick saying the staff not listening may have caused the panic attack, but I do believe it was. I don't know if you're not in Florida. Sometimes I did eat. I had shrimp and grits is a heavy kind of food, and we walked across, and that plus the mask being right up on, I couldn't catch a breath. I think it had a combination of things, and what ends up happening is, and I do believe this. I believe that they don't hear people anymore. People are not listening to each other anymore. All they cared about was put your fucking mask on. That was it. That's the end of it.
I know Florida.
That's how far the bureaucracy has gotten to them. It's like, these are the rules. There will be no. It's like these rules are written in stone and come from on high, rather than just being guidelines that people should.
The thing that people don't realize that down in Florida, it gets super dang humid down there and hot down there.
Yeah, it does.
And you're trying to put a mask on, even if you have no breathing problems, you will have breathing problems.
Yeah,
you're breathing carbon dioxide.
I carry two, and that day I had a Winnie the Pooh and a Goofy because Disney.
Yeah.
And so if you need to, you could switch it out, and that way one's comfortable. The Disney masks are very tight on the face, but once again, the whole problem is, ask the person, are they okay? I've gotten into arguments on the forums because I would say you don't know their story, because they're like, oh, that person's not wearing a mask because they want people to die. First of all, you're a dumbass. You're a moron if that's actually your train of thought. You're thinking zero as far as all that's concerned. You do this because you have no idea about the other person. You hear that, and this is part. It's all political now. And that's how people feel. Are you a Democrat? Then you believe that everything that a Republican does is for racism. Are you a Republican? Then you believe that all things Democrats do is because they hate America. And there's nothing in between. And the thing is, the only people that anybody is hearing are the two sides that actually believe what I just said. Because obviously, regular people can think, well, they believe this because of this, and they believe, there's nuance there. And in this case, we've seen a lot of people say, I'm not going to wear the mask because of freedom. you know, and I agree with them to some extent. You give up a little, they're going to take a little, but then they're going to expand it, and they're going to expand it, and they're going to expand it. Think of all the things that used
to give them an inch, they swim all over.
I'm speaking to the old farts like myself. Think of all the things that we used to be able to do that now is frowned upon because little by little, they took an inch, they took an inch, they took an inch until it was socially acceptable for anybody who liked to do those mundane things to now be ostracized. I mean, it is okay with people to get fired for something you say not at work. If you're on Twitter and you say something bad, someone gets fired and people go, well, yeah, well, look what he said. No, he didn't say it at work. He didn't say it within his job. He said it on freaking Twitter, and we're okay with it. We're okay with that because we talk about cancel culture. We don't go, oh, well, you know, Johnson & Johnson fires this guy because he said he liked Chick-fil-A. And didn't that Chick-fil-A guy say something bad? And we go, well, you know, the cancel culture that does that. We don't go, Johnson & Johnson's full of crap.
Can you imagine if a Domino delivery driver said he loves eating at Pizza Hut, and then like it gets back with, you're talking about pizza, promoting that. You know,
everybody.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. We give them a little bit and a little bit, and the masks. A lot of people believe that the masks are one of those little things, and we've heard about being chipped for quite a while. They're going to put a chip in your wrist so they can read and you can check your credit, and a lot of people are like, oh no. But a lot of people, in all honesty, are okay, and they think it would be fine because, you know, if you're not doing anything wrong, what do you have to hide? And then they go, oh, wait, but the government wants to follow you. And you think, well, that's horrible, except they've been doing that forever now since we have these in our pocket. And they even said, we've got big ass warehouses full of computers that are taking every little bit and every little note, every text, everything. Somewhere the government has it on record.
Well, and even if the government doesn't do it directly, because there are some things they can't do directly, they can get the corporations to do it for them and then just pay the corporations off for the metadata that the corporations collect. Like, you don't think that the CIA or the FBI have a hotline to Google? Then I have a bridge to sell you on the moon.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous because, you know, that person who does say, I don't want to wear the mask because freedom, is instantly ostracized and everybody's okay with it. What I think, and I've said this forever, if Disney wants you to wear a mask, it is their property. They make the rules. I understand this. But Disney, if somebody is sick, if somebody's telling you they can't breathe, listen to them, call health services, and get the stick out of your ass because you know what? You don't know their story. If you see somebody who's doing the nose thing, if you see somebody who is not wearing the mask, if you see anybody doing that, mind your own freaking business. You don't know their story.
Well, here's one thing.
If I'm not wearing a mask at Disney, it's between me and Disney. It's none of your business. Drop it. And I have seen, oh my gosh, I mentioned there's this one channel I like. They're huge. Way bigger than me. They're called the Diz Unplugged. I watch them all the time. They are some judgmental bitches. They are so judgmental. I follow them on Twitter, and they talk about this kind of, well, and these people are just, no, you don't know what these people want. You honestly do not know what these people want. Well, you don't know what these people need. You are just being judgmental. Shut up. You don't know their story. Go on ahead. Sorry.
It brings to mind the Stanford prison experiment. For those that don't know what the Stanford prison experiment was, basically, some research scientists assigned a certain group of people in a group of volunteers the role of prisoner, and they assigned a certain group of people within a group of volunteers the role of guard. Now, the guards had no training, and the prisoners hadn't done anything wrong. But what they found was, as time went on, the people that were randomly assigned the role of guard would take any excuse they could to act like an authoritarian prison guard. And this is just the widespread social version of that. people were given the go-ahead to say, you should enforce people wearing these masks. And so now a bunch of people who are no different than anybody else, but are in arbitrary positions of authority because of this situation, are treating that mask rule as though it is the end-all and be-all, delivered from on high on a freaking stone tablet.
And I think part of I think you're pretty much nailing it there. And we've got, I mean, look, VENKMAN, he lives in a place where the governor's putting fines on it. I'm sorry, but when did the Constitution say it was okay with that?
Well, the update to that is that even though they lead us 5-4 on the Supreme Court, he doesn't have the rest of the actual the state Senate and all that stuff. So he doesn't have the right. He already did his 30 days. Every governor has it. You can do it for 30 days only. At least in Wisconsin, you can do this. He had it back in March.
Oh yeah,
he did that. So now he can't do it twice.
Yeah, well, we're on day. What is it? We're on. It's been 4 months of our 2-week needing to. Yeah. Like in order he actually has to get state Congress approval in order to do stuff. He can't just decree it. That's the thing that people don't understand. Now, Robert, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that about the people. I'm speaking of why they were yelling to put a mask on. One, they're really into this. They're really terrified. You know, they're wearing the mask. They're afraid that you might have it. They're that wrapped up into it. Two, they could be. They are basically afraid of getting fired. If somebody comes in, why isn't that guy wearing a mask? Well, we told times. And then the third problem is that the outcome is that if, let's say, you actually are having breathing problems, you pass out, you go into coma or die, or worse, die. Now they're looking at was it like manslaughter or what do you want to call it? Or I'm not sure what degree that would be in, but the fact that they didn't offer you any health services at all, ignored your pleas, even though you're asking for help, the fact you can't breathe, they ignored it. Like that looks bad for Disney, but either way, it looks bad for Disney. It looks like they'd rather just insult you, well,
I wouldn't say they insulted me. They just, I really do believe, and I really do believe that when I was saying I couldn't breathe, that they were seeing it as somebody standing up and saying, I'm going against your rules,
Yeah, and that's the thing though. They shouldn't do that. That's for customer service. That should not be the thing. They should always, because remember, the customer is always right. But if that's the point where their policy is trained by Disney, unless they're taking it upon themselves, if Disney really is telling them to ignore the customer and just take it out and put a mask on, that's their training.
Yeah,
that is a horrible situation. I would never want to support a company like that.
I worked at Disney and I worked at Universal for a long, long time, and that should have been the first thing out of your mouth. I'm sorry, but do you need health services before anything else? No
matter where you work.
You have to think about the guests, and yes, the mask being over the nose is part of safety as well. But you worry about this part. I'll worry about this part. And the person in front of you telling you that they can't breathe, that is more urgent than the mask being over the nose.
Well, my thing is, don't you sneeze out of your mouth? When you sneeze, it comes out of your mouth, not your nose. So
yeah, that's why I don't understand. It seems to me that if the mouth is covered, that's the part you need to worry about. I need to worry about what's coming in. You need to worry about what's going out. So yeah. Roberts is mentioning that Walt Disney has said that if you can't wear a mask, stay off their property. And look, like I said, it is their rules. And if I'm going to go to Magic Kingdom, I need to be able to follow their rules. I understand that. You see the voice actor for Phineas and Ferb ask the Munderdome on Twitter. He's insane. Said a MAGA girl's boyfriend who died that he wishes she stay alone forever.
Which voice actor from Phineas and Ferb though? I'm curious now.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. With everybody, you think that the other person disagrees with you because they're full of hate and bile instead of just see things differently.
I'll come down to this. Like I said, if Disney wants you to wear a mask and you can't wear a mask because you don't like the mask, then you have a right to choose not to go. Like you said, if somebody asks me, says like if I want to shop, you're gonna wear a mask. I'll just go somewhere else. If it gets to the point where I can't go somewhere else because everybody's requiring me to wear a mask, to me that's an unfair situation. And for people who have breathing problems, where are we supposed to go?
Well, I've actually had people tell me, stay home. You can't go out and outside until we have a cure. Like, hold on. First of all, staying inside was never supposed to be done until we had a cure. That's a load of crap. And I think
15 days.
And I think the mask thing is a way of keeping control of people to a certain extent. Well, I'm not saying completely. I do believe that, you know, it does protect and everything. That being said, I do believe it's being used as a way. It's been politicized. I said it before, and I'll say it again. It's been politicized, and it's
a secular version of the niqab. Basically, these are the garments you wear to demonstrate that you are on our team or in our ideology, in our culture.
The CDC said that if you have a medical condition or if you have trouble breathing, then you don't need to wear it. Now, I think that if like myself, if you have trouble breathing, you put it here. Hey, look, you worry about this. I've got this covered, you know. Or
that's how I wear it too. I wear it only in my mouth because I'm like, if I'm gonna cough, it's coming out of my mouth. It's not gonna come on my nose.
Well, I've actually kind of expanded the mask into the shirt because I found if I sneezed or coughed, it just goes yes. And then I'm wearing a moist. I'm like, oh no.
Well, that's the thing. People have allergies. Their nose is constantly blocked up.
Yeah.
Sir, sorry, you can't come. But it's discrimination.
But I've got to get used to this if I want to go out to the park. I mean, look, you know, I want to go to Animal Kingdom. I want to go back. So if I've got to learn to live with this and figure out what's going on, or just accept the fact that I'm paying $50 a month now for nothing. So.
As crazy as it is, I agree with Madonna. Madonna said, "Look at all these lockdowns. All it is making the people who like Amazon, all these online retailers, you're making them rich because you're forced to buy stuff from them. Because if you're too afraid to go out to the store because you're afraid you're going to get this, or if you have breathing problems, you're forced to buy from Amazon and only these big online stores and then deliver. So you're paying more.
Yeah." You are basically killing off the small business and making the rich richer. And if that was what you're against, you know, hey, congratulations, you are now for it. That's
you're also killing off any like ordinary corporations that don't have a major online presence. Like I wanted to go to Barnes & Noble for my birthday, which was this past Saturday, and I couldn't go because they were going to insist you wear a mask in there the whole time. And I was just like, at that point, it's not worth it. I'll just get my books from Amazon or whatever.
Well, there is something at Disney that has suffered that as well. I mean, since we're bringing it up, there's an ice cream shop that closed down. I had it on the other one. And wouldn't you know it, the website that I had open does not have it. But there, I'm like, hold on just a second. And I'm looking for the news story I was about to talk about when I had that great segue, dude, that led right up to it. But yeah, there's an ice cream shop at Disney that was on the boardwalk, Ample Hills. It's gone. It's not coming back. There's certain things even in Disney that are going to have to go the way of the dodo now. And look, I understand certain things. Buffets are going to have to change. I don't think they have to go. You could now do them family style. Like if you went to, oh goodness. All I've got is California Grill in my Garden Grill at Epcot is a family style restaurant. So is the Liberty Tavern in Magic Kingdom. And by that you get all you can eat, but they bring it to your table. Now, I think a lot of the buffets and everything, I think that can change, you know, but a lot of things are going to be changing because of this. Let's see. Mirage says, if Disney discriminates against people who have breathing problems with the masks, isn't that against the act against discrimination against the handicap that all public places have to follow? My guess is if anybody was going to push that, they have to get some sort of they would have to get some sort of documentation, which
I would say also class action lawsuit too.
The one thing is they cannot ask you. They cannot ask you what medical condition do you have.
Yep.
They're not allowed to. But yeah, actually, so I guess based on that alone, if I told them I have a medical condition that makes it so I can't wear a mask, they're not allowed to ask me what it is.
And if they deny you entry,
then they're basically denying it based on the fact that I have that medical condition. So I guess so. Yeah.
Liberty Tree. Disney is a public, private. Yeah.
Well, there you go. But last week it was announced that Ample Hills Creamery at Disney Boardwalk Inn will be permanently closed. That is kind of sad. I went there. It's actually a pretty good ice cream spot. Reminded me of the older ice cream joints.
Malt
well, I don't
shops.
know if you malt shop. Yeah, thank you. I don't think you guys are old enough to remember those.
we got two of them out here by us. The old malt shops. We call it a Harley burger because we know Harley Davidson stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 1/3 pound burger or more. I'm like, geez, like it's like having 4 burgers in one. We were talking about that big make your own giant burger last night on the stream. This place does it for you.
I know of them because A, I'm a history buff, and B, I grew up on Scooby-Doo, and of course the malt shop was always the big thing whenever they would finish a case on the old
That's
Scooby-Doo
because you
cartoon.
watch Riverdale.
So the new, speaking of the face masks and everything, they're not allowing anything with valves or mesh or holes like that. So you do have to wear the thing. So people were bringing in whatever they could, I guess, to cover. Look, I was thinking of something that maybe I could put down what would fall flat, which would still allow air to come in under, you know. It's getting pretty ridiculous out there with this thing. Like, what are you actually trying to stop? Because it's already been said many times that while this cuts down, it doesn't stop everything.
I think it's funny.
Some people with severe autism have a bad reaction to wearing a mask, says Underworld Dream. And Morange says Disney does have to accommodate for people with their disabilities or risk lawsuits. Now, they do have areas out of the way. They say you could go and take off a mask, or if you're eating, you can stop and take off the mask for that. But they've also got people who are basically the Gestapo with the mask thing, where they're like, put it on, got it. They literally walk around to remind people to wear their masks all the time.
You will wear the mask. The choice is whether you will wear it before the pain or after the pain.
Now, everybody's freaking out over the mask. Wait till we get the goggles.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'm sorry. I hope people are smart enough to go, you know what, Fauci? You literally told us that you lied about the masks, so medical people would have more masks. Now, we already know you lie for an agenda. Whether you agree with that agenda or not, he has admitted to lying for his own agenda. So why or how do we trust you that you're not going to do that again? And now he's saying goggles. Are you freaking trolling us? Are you serious?
You better go buy some swing goggles real quick. They're going to sell out.
England's going to wear a mask.
And this is why blind appeal to authority makes no freaking sense. Because when the authority is a liar or wrong, then it sort of undermines everything.
Yeah, it is. It's ridiculous to me that nobody, I mean, when people do point out that Fauci has not always been 100% on, man, they love this guy. But what gets me about this whole thing about how they're going all in, this is the guy who was advising Trump in the beginning when they said that Trump was making all the bad decisions, but he was listening to Fauci. As a matter of fact, the only time he didn't listen to Fauci was when he closed the border early. And then everybody that these people say they hate Trump for how he's handling COVID, the ones that they're going to are the ones that said Trump shouldn't have closed the border.
Did you watch a hearing yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I reclaim my time hearing there.
No, I'm talking about the one with
Fauci.
Fauci one, where he admits that everything that Trump did, he agreed with it. He was consulted with it too, and he agreed. So everything in the every early decision that Trump made, Fauci agreed with.
He was advising him.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only time that Trump did something that Fauci didn't advise was the closing of the border. That's and he did that months before everybody else would, because remember, when he closed the border, Biden, Pelosi, a lot of, I'm not say all of them, but a lot of Democrats came out and said, being racist, you guys should come out inside. I think, and I could be wrong, but I Google it just to find out. But I do believe Biden said that people should go to China. Check it out. Check it out.
Well, in fairness to Uncle Joe, he's not all there anymore, so he might not have known what he was saying.
Is Uncle Joe taking the dementia test they forced Trump to take?
Well, that was, he is president,
wouldn't pass it is the problem.
They have to give him that kind of a test. He was becoming president at the time, so
yeah, so I think Joe has to take one too.
Let's see. I don't know.
Face curtains.
I can't wait for this to be over, in all honesty. Let's just get out and go and enjoy the parks, enjoy everything. But here is my take on it, and I said this at the beginning of all this. This is life, ladies and gentlemen. Now they're talking about they've got 6 vaccines out and ready to go, ready to be tested and all that kind of stuff. So they're, and fingers crossed we'll get something by the end of the year. But my thinking is we're at least a year before we'll be able to actually enjoy the park the way it used to be. At least a year. So we'll see. Yeah, Thunderdome, we're not going there. All right. Anyway,
what did he say this time?
Are you?
It's a Disney stream. We can't say that.
A Disney stream. It was a little gaffe I made in the I Love Comics. So anyway, here's the thing, though. Once again, it's Disney's rule, and I do understand that if I'm going to go, and I am going to go, that I do need to wear the mask. I'm not saying anything against that. I'm just saying if you're a member of the cast and somebody comes up to you and says they can't breathe 4 freaking times, at least one of those times, listen to them and call health services.
Man beats a mascot at Disney for refusing to wear a mask.
Right. Don't automatically assume it's politics or something like that. Just listen to them and call health services, or ask, at the very least, ask, is everything okay? Do you need to sit down? May I bring you some water? Something along those lines. Show them that you're actually concerned about that. Anyway, there you go. It's been, wow. I thought we were going to have a lot of time to talk about a lot of subjects, but we talked about that for 40 minutes. But let's see, that happened last night at the quarter box auction. Yep. Good times. Anyway, gang, there you go. That's the story of Sir. You need to put your mask on, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm gonna make a challenge for you guys who have made it to the end. Count if there are any comments on this. Let's count how many people talk to me about, well, it's Disney's rules, it's Disney's property, and if you're going to go, you have to wear a mask. Even though I said that 4 times throughout this broadcast, that yes, I understand that particular part of it.
Seems to be a running theme. Anglin says something 4 times, and person listening to him completely ignores him and says the same thing anyway.
Oh yeah. I said in a video on this channel also, I said on one video that I say I'm allergic to onions, but in all honesty, it's called an aversion. I don't get death sick, but I do get sick. So because people don't understand aversion, but they understand allergy, I say allergy, and that way I avoid it. I've actually used to say aversion, but people don't take it seriously. So yeah, I mentioned
or
this,
they look at you funny.
Yeah, and I've said this over and over. Well, this person made a comment that, oh, well, yeah, you just say that to get attention and to make us that's a weird take on it, but there you go. Even though I'm like telling them yes, and I admit it, and usually when I'm talking to a chef, I say it's more of an aversion, but here we go. It's interesting. If you said I can't breathe and cast member fist bumped you and said, my man, that would have been hysterical. Yeah, it would have been. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. And VENKMAN,
Have a zippity-doo-dah day.